this doesn't give any
Right.
guidance for somebody else. And if you're gonna call it team planning, then, you know, it has to be a team and it has to meet everybody's, needs. I'm able to talk to her, and in a way that it's okay. Because
Okay,
she
good.
does, she does get very sensitive, so
Sure,
I have to make sure I
sure.
align myself correctly with
Yeah.
her, that she knows that I'm not trying to, tell her that she's wrong about
Exactly.
something.
Exactly.
But, it's touchy.
And,
It's touchy with this.
one way to maybe get around that sensitivity and to build that, to work in the team, and I'll just throw this out and you know your members see what you think, is that really the lesson plans should be driven, anything we do together should be driven by student outcomes. So it's not really about me, it's not about you, it's about what makes a difference for students. And if one of the group is struggling, making a difference for students via that lesson plan, how can we help that person? And so I think if everything is driven by student outcomes in that meeting, how can our lesson plans as a team impact student performance? That's the ultimate goal. That takes it off of any judgment. And then to build choice within that, because if this lesson plan gets student performance where it needs to be, then so be it. This works for her. So it might be a discussion of, do we all have to look the same, and how can we make it fit for each of us, and that should be measured on student outcomes. But building in choice and then using student outcomes as your goal.
Okay.
And you might even, you know, use those same coaching questions on a scale of 1 to 7. Where are you with your plans? What would make it a 10 for you? And because for her, maybe a 10 is this. Maybe it's not. Maybe she would say, yeah, it's an 8, and I could a 10 might look like this. But also always, how would you know that it's making a difference for students? If you change this, is it making a difference for students?
I think those are very smart.
Okay.
But is the next thing you're gonna tell me is that I have to be okay with her choice if she chooses
Yes.
to do this? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, really, the bottom line is if, and then if it's impacting students in a positive way, yeah, you have to.
Which in all honesty, I really don't know.
You don't, yeah.
If really changing, because I've watched this teacher and I know the areas that she needs to work on, and I'm not sure it starts with here. I think there is a part of me, Anne, though, that knows that they're all absolutely going to get dinged by administration if they see this one more time, because our ILD came in and was like, this is what I'm going to do. With
That might be her
next time.
motivation
And
then, yeah.
So,
But
I mean, I know that it's hard. It's hard when you know of something that is good practice, but you know that maybe that's not the most important thing. But as a team, they cannot even get along or get together, and yet they want to do this. So I'm like, well, then this is where we're going to start if this is what you're saying you're going to do, but you don't get along.
And maybe, you know, some team norms are in order too before every meeting. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. So there will be some things in the book that you might want to take a look at with setting those team norms.
Yeah, that'll be good, because from what I hear, a lot of them just walk out.
And then evaluating how, and I would even suggest, and we'll talk about this more tomorrow, with their permission, videotaping that team meeting, and then letting them each individually reflect on it.
Okay.
Not watch it together, not you watch it.
Right.
Just letting them individually. Sometimes when we see ourselves in a team interaction, we go, maybe I wasn't so nice. Maybe I'm rolling my eyes. Okay. Yeah, that is just one idea that. And again, if this teacher may be using this because she doesn't know any other options, and it just may be that some options laid out in front of her may give her some confidence, and then looking at too how you will know that by doing these lesson plans, what will you measure in terms of student impact? That will be a group decision. Or what are several things you can measure? Maybe it's we're getting to mastery in a shorter amount of time. That's measurable. You know, whatever you think you might measure, is this making a difference?